Hello, folks. This is Justin from the Ottawa Expositor this evening of the 14th of July, 2014. And basically today I just came across this article from openmedia.ca talking about the government's own report confirms Canadian wireless prices still amongst the highest in the industrialized world, while more affordable new entrants starting to have positive impact on costs. So let me break this down for you. I'm not 100% sure how familiar you are with the phone company industry in Canada, but there's basically three mega corporations that pretty much own everything. And that's Rogers, Bell, and TELUS. Now, for the most part, they are known as our competition. They are the ones that control the other three main competitions under a false guise. And basically what they do is they completely run everybody that's trying to enter into the market out of town. And there's a reason for this, and I don't see it being addressed by the open media. So, I mean, they'll talk to you about things like how, people have entered in, or smaller companies have entered into the market, and their prices are much better than the ones that we have in the big three. But the problem is they can't get enough of a foothold in to either stay that type of company or they just can't compete, because I mean the profits that these three companies must be making, it has to be enormous, and they do not try and give any other reason except for a sugar-coated excuse that there's massive market elasticity. So there's no real competition. They can pretty much set the prices at whatever they'd like, and there's no one really there to stop them. Now, you'll see this article. It's talking about the government has taken a number of positive steps recently to improve choice, but more action is required to undo the years of regulatory coddling of the big three. Canadians will be looking to Industry Minister James Moore to fix this problem. Now, I'm just wondering here, because the thing is, they talk about the government putting in steps to improve this. Now, all it seemed to do this year was basically knock out one of the largest competitors. It's called Win Mobile. They are owned by a Dutch company, okay? And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I am not in really support of any international company coming in and trying to take over our markets. But when you have these major three companies screaming, oh, it's got to be Canadian. I mean, it's got to be a Canadian company that screws over this nation for this particular industry. What they're doing, they keep going to the Prime Minister, the Industry Minister, and they get laws set to make it look like there's competition going on. But what they do is create all these loopholes for themselves, and all these loopholes that the other ones, the smaller competition, they have to jump through, and they have to spend all this money trying to stay on the same level as these guys. And what happens is we're still left with the big three. The government initiatives are doing almost the opposite of what's going on. One of the things, like I was saying, is that they weren't going to allow any non-Canadian company to take a big foothold here. And that's the reason why we don't have companies like Wind or Verizon coming in and actually taking control of a major part of the market. It's just not happening. And what you won't see on open media, I mean, they'll show you this cycle here, right? And, the big telecom companies, they dominate the market, they gain all the money, and then they use that money to lobby the government, right? But they don't really tell you who these lobbyists are. And, they make it seem like it's this big secretive thing, but no, it's not. Have you guys heard of the Canadian Council of Chief Executives? Now, I've brought this up a couple times. It was in on the Max Resistance. I know Free Radio Revolution has actually done a great deal of work and research and has exposed a lot of this. But they actually have a website. You can go onto it and you can see their entire member list. And what it is, it's all the major companies in Canada. Their CEOs get together and they meet with the Prime Minister of Canada and the major ministers in the nation. And, in 2011, they actually met with our Prime Minister 29 times. And these guys control the market. So what happens is they just keep lobbying. They get together. They act like they're competition outside of this group, but they come as a whole and they go to the prime minister and get all these rules passed that helps nobody except for these large corporations. So I'm just wondering, why are the only people like the sites like openmedia.ca? I mean, kudos for them for showing, that our market is dominated, and despite the attempts to try and improve it, it's just not working. And I do appreciate them showing that to us. But why is there never any talk anywhere about this CCCE, the Canadian Council of Chief Executives? Now, I can't give you that information. I don't know why they show this. But I am going to show you one thing about these guys that I found to be pretty interesting. I went to their the Stop the Secrecy part on their website. Now, the reason why I went to it was I was covering the Trans-Pacific Partnership. And due to its secrecy, that's allowing it to be pushed through and might even become law. You have all these different companies, all these different organizations that are talking against the TPP. So Open Media was one of them, and I went through their partners, right? And when I see these same symbols, on Rogers and whatnot, what we're known as occult symbols, right? And then you take a look at their partners. So you see this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Wait for it. And this. Now, I'm not saying every one of them are compromised. And I'm not saying that specific ones are. I'll let you guys do the research. I'm going to be doing my own to look into this. But this is what concerns me. These companies, I mean, they have the same type of symbolism that you see in all these big markets, in these big corporations. What's going on here, guys? Like, this is supposed to be our opposition for us. And, I went to the rallies in the TPP, and listen, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Like, most of these were liberal democratic groups that came. And you know what? It was the only people that were there to say anything were liberals. I got to give them credit. And when I say liberals, I mean left wing, not the Liberal Party of Canada. They're actually for the TPP. But these are all left wingers. Why is the only things that I ever see rallies for nowadays in Canada, it's either you're for a corporation or you're a left winger. What's going on here? Well, you know what? It's looking to me that the opposition is completely controlled. So, anyways, take a look into this. I think I've kind of stumbled upon something pretty big here. I mean, if these are the companies that are supposed to be protecting us against these big bad corporations, and they all seem to have the same logos as these corporations at which they're trying to protect us from, we got a big issue. We have a problem here. So I'm going to show you the links below in the comments section. You can take a look in through these companies and see what we can come up about this. But this is a problem. It's been Justin of the Ottawa Expositor. Thank you very much for listening, folks. Have a good night.